Hello, YouTube. Today I want to discuss a term that has been used excessively right now, and there's actually two terms that start with N, and no, it's not the horrible one that you're thinking of, it's other horrible ones. And I want to describe how they are being used in constant dialogue, and maybe, just maybe, we're using the wrong terms for these setups. Basically, you hear the word Nazi a lot right now. And to be honest, I think it's being used correctly, like 100% correctly. If you see fascism, you usually are going to identify it with Nazis. It's come from other places like Italy, but it doesn't matter because the more famous and more horrible one is the Nazis. So if you're trying to make a point about fascism, destruction of human rights, it's not a bad idea to use this term. Now, here's my problem with it. One, we should keep using the term. I'm not saying stop using it. It seems pretty effective, and it seems to make the other side of the argument pretty upset. We don't say you're being the Roman Empire right now. You're being so Roman right now. You're being a wee bit of a Catholic crusader. People have done really shitty things throughout history, but that was their time in history where that was their shitty thing to do. Why do we need to use a past term to describe something happening right now when I think there's a better term to describe the United States, its people, its leadership, and if the United States combined into one superhuman being, what word would I use to describe that human being? All of us combined into one person, what would we be? Narcissists. That is the N word to describe the United States. Not the other horrible ones, but this horrible one. We are the most fucking selfish human beings possibly that have ever lived. We have a weird belief that we are superior to others all around the world. We think we're better than England, so it doesn't even matter if you're an English speaker. We think we're better than all of South America. We don't even justify Africa half the time. We think we're better than the Asians. We think we're better than the Russians. We think we're better than everybody in Europe. We think we're better than the penguins in Antarctica, if that's where there are. We have a superiority complex, and it comes in every form. First of all, our Hollywood movies. We are always the main character. We are always the heroes, and we are always nigh unbeatable. What about politics? Well, that's pretty obvious. Most politicians are complete narcissists. All they care about is themselves and increasing their own personal power. The fact that they're fascist is just coincidental at this point. It's the narcissism that causes the Nazism. So the question that I have for society is, when are we going to realize that narcissism is our Nazism? That is America's sickness. It is what we are dripping in from day one. We showed up to a country and started butchering its people because we found ourselves to be superior, more important, and the main characters of the story. So it justified us doing terrible things. What if our narcissism justifies things the same way their Nazism justified things? That's how I'm thinking. Our president, I don't like the guy. I think he's a fucking evil piece of shit, and I think he is decisively narcissistic. He doesn't care about people. He only cares about himself and personal power. The person we put in charge is in fact the ultimate narcissist. If that doesn't say something about the people within that nation, I don't know what does. For many years, I used to hear it's the government of the United States that sucks. The people are good. No, they're not. Go out into the world and you will find a term called a Karen. 99% of Karen videos come from the United States. They come from Florida a lot of the time. Put another percentage on that. We create this mentality that we are superior to somebody, that we are the main character, and we all have main character syndrome. In fact, the video I'm making right now is me being a lame social media influencer thinking I'm the main character who has the right to tell you how the world is. Tell me that's not some kind of conceited, selfish, narcissistic douchebag thing to do. And I'm saying that about myself. And I'm just some dork. The problem is, when most of your nation is narcissistic, things like empathy, sympathy, caring for your fellow man, being selfless, those are seen as weakness. not as the great qualities that make mankind the successful thing that it is. Instead, we see them as weakness, chumps, people that you can call a beta male, like that are weak, they're not alpha, they're not taking everything they want. We cope, we use copium, all these dumb terms, and yet we're sitting here saying that we resemble and are 1939 Germany with Hitler at the helm. No, we're not, because that already happened. It might look a lot like it, it might smell a lot like it, but this is its own personal hell for us. It isn't the same. It's the new edition. It's like the difference between a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 5. Yeah, they both play games, but they are different in many ways as well. So you call a PlayStation 5 a PlayStation 5. You don't call it, oh, look, it's being the PS1 again. Like, you don't do that. You recognize the generation and what each one is. This narcissism thing is horrible for our image across this planet. I imagine that everybody on the planet looks at America and says, what a bunch of selfish, narcissistic, fucking uneducated assholes. That's what we look like. We're going to invade your country for oil. We're going to Venezuela. We're going to Iraq. We're taking over Afghanistan. We get to do whatever we want. You got brown people, we're going to smoke their asses. That is our mentality. And you can say that's fascist, because it is. It totally is. I agree with you 100%. But for us, the driving factor is self-centered narcissism. We don't think about other people. We don't have empathy for other people. We think when we invade a country and kill 1 million of theirs, that's fine. Meanwhile, we get hit with a couple of planes and lose 2,000 people, and we see that as the greatest tragedy in human history. Never mind the bubonic black plague. Never mind the 2 invasions that lasted 20 years with over 1 million civilian casualties. Never mind all that, because we got hurt a little bit. We get to fuck up your whole country, occupy it, and kill your children. What the fuck? America, your disproportionate response to everything is because you're a narcissist. They blew us up, send some special forces in, spend a couple of years undermining their government or whatever the fuck you do, because you've done that hundreds of times. You've tried to take over other countries' governments. Who the fuck does that other than us? You can say Russia did. Russia fell apart. The Soviet Union is gone. Their ability to establish large colonization efforts are failed. What we have now is the United States, who is desperately looking for violence everywhere it can, even within its own streets. This is a country that uses its self-centered main character syndrome to justify the worst actions in history of any country. No, we haven't killed 8 million people yet. We haven't killed 8 million Jews in camps. But we have killed millions in the Vietnam War. We have killed millions in Afghanistan and Iraq. We have killed millions by supporting Israel and its attacks. We have killed millions too. What about the genocide of the Native Americans? There were at least 20, 30 million, maybe even more of them on this continent. Now they represent less than 1% of the total population of this country. That is genocide. It is the same fucking thing. Jesus Christ. And we don't identify any of it towards ourselves because I'm an American. When I do it, it's fine. Everybody else is evil. I can't be evil. I'm the good guy. Jesus Christ. Even our superheroes are fucking narcissistic douchebags. Look at Tony Stark, a rich asshole who makes money by selling weapons to people to kill children. That's what he did. But he's a hero to us because he beat up some brown people in the desert. Great. How about Captain America, my favorite? He is literally walking, talking propaganda. He's nothing more than that. Look at Superman. Same fucking thing. We are narcissists. Not he or she or them. We. All of us have this disease of self-centered bullshit. And it justifies the worst actions in history. The Germans justified it by their economy being destroyed, by their country being destroyed, by the unfair terms of a war where they were blamed for literally everything for World War I. It made a situation that was guaranteed to create a Hitler. Our country is doing the same thing. We have created a Trump by allowing narcissism to be something we can be proud of. We're proud of these billionaires. We're proud of people who take more than they deserve. They're our heroes. Elon Musk is a genius. Donald Trump is a brilliant man because he's got money. His dad was a fucking millionaire, billionaire. It's not like he created it out of nothing. And even when we do, we think that's the hero story. A poor guy got to the point where he's a billionaire and now he can fuck over poor people. What a hero. Jesus Christ. It's embarrassing. I served my country for 4 years as a combat medic with an infantry unit. When I got out in 2016, all I kept saying, and in my stupor of PTSD, bipolar, and psychosis, is, Jesus Christ, this country is fucking evil. How the hell is it this evil, and yet the civilians are walking around as if we're like off to another tea party. We're just doing so fucking well. Everything's so happy. And I was like, we are devastating populations around the earth. We are destroying governments. We are dismantling peace. That is what we are doing. We are training to kill, and we're trying to kill in vast numbers. The military itself has helped create this superiority complex. When we think about the United States military, we think of the country that defeated the Redcoats. We think of the country that defeated the Confederates. We think of the country that won World War I by getting involved within the last goddamn 9 months of the conflict and missing the vast majority of it. Or World War II, where we only took 400,000 casualties and the goddamn Russians took between 8 and 20 million casualties to achieve victory against the Nazis. It is bullshit. Every other nation bled out 1 million goddamn people or more, and yet the one nation that didn't bleed much at all, and I'm not discrediting their service, I am saying that the United States took the least amount of casualties in a war that was extremely high on motherfucking casualties. And yet we claim the victory because we sold you some tanks. If I give you a sword and you go defeat, a 10-foot guy with a shield and a club, are you the hero, the guy who sold him the sword? Or is the guy who fights the 10-foot giant with a sword a fucking hero? Think about that. Just because I sold you a gun and then you use it as a police officer to defend yourself, who is the hero? The guy who sold the gun or the cop who defended innocent life with it? Christ! This nation is disgustingly narcissistic. The rest of the world, I don't know how you tolerate us. Or maybe you have to because we're nuclear poised, violent, and extremely reactive. So if you make one comment at us, we go, oh my God, they're making me feel bad, and I'll have to look at myself, and I'll have to question if I'm a good person or not. Let's kill them all. That's what we are. We are the bad guys. And we aren't the Nazis. They're going to look back and say, remember the narcissist. They won't even call us, we don't say, remember the Germans. We say, remember the Nazis. They're going to say that about us. Remember the narcissists back in 2025. How these people, they completely gave up on their humanity and therefore dehumanized the rest of the planet with them. Because you may not understand this, but when you dehumanize a group of people, you must dehumanize yourself first. You must become capable of destroying other people without seeing them as a person, which leaves you as nothing more than a bad guy, a monster, a piece of shit. Being a narcissist is a terrible thing. If you've ever dealt with one, covert, grandiose, doesn't matter. They will fuck up your life wholesale because you may have made their self-esteem plummet by 1%. You hit them 1%, they're going to try to get you to kill yourself. That's what they will do. That is the reality of our country. If you punch me on the playground, I'm going to come back with an AR-15 and blow apart the whole classroom. Is that not us? Does that not happen every other goddamn day? To the point where we can't send our kids to school without wondering if we're going to get them back? That's a narcissistic country. When we decide to kill ourselves, we go kill a bunch of fucking children first. That is the most fucked up, selfish piece of shit thing in history. It's worse than the other stuff because it's happening to us. It's happening right now. America was never the thing you think it is. It has always been a selfish, bloated, economic bullshit country. We have fucked over the whole world continuously. We've fought nearly every country. We've been on every continent. We have had wars with the Mexicans. We have tried to have wars with the French Canadians. We have tried to have wars with the French. We have had wars with the British, with the Russians. We have had wars with the Italians. We have had wars with the Japanese. We have had wars with the Chinese. We have had wars with the Koreans, with the Vietnamese. And I'm not naming very many of them. I'm missing hundreds of conflicts. We have been to Panama. It never ends. We have been to Iraq. We have been to Afghanistan. We've attacked Iran just recently. It is endless, the amount of attacking that we do. I believe the U.S. military is a defensive fighting force and should only be used to defend our freedom. Yes, we should every once in a while go stop some Nazis. I totally agree with that. I would stomp them into the ground and send them to hell. I agree with that. But what we do is nothing more than textbook colonization and invasion. We have no right to attack these people. We have no right to dismantle their homes. We have no right to question their culture and destroy it because it is different from ours and justify it by those differences. It's okay to kill Afghanis because they make women wear things on their heads. That is their culture. That is their religion. They have the right to have their own things that aren't the same as us. But we don't see that. If it ain't us, it ain't right, because we are the main character. We're the Jesus Christ. We're the goddamn Jason Bourne. We're the John Wick. We're the John Wayne. We are the main character, the unstoppable cowboy. That's what we are, a selfish, narcissistic cowboy only in it for himself. And the rest of the world has to eat it. And we act like these other countries are so goddamn evil. Russia's so evil. China's so evil. China has been doing great business with us for literally like 50, 60 years. And it has gone rather well for both economies. Yet we spend half our time spying on them and questioning when we get to kill them in when they do the invasion of Thailand or whatever. I don't remember which country where they're wanting to invade, but it doesn't matter. It's that we're always contemplating killing our friends. If the British insult us tomorrow about drinking coffee and how much they like tea, we might drop a bomb on their parliament. And that's just who we are. It's just who I am. Get over it. The rest of the world isn't laughing. Not in the way you think. They're laughing in the sense of these people are pathetic. Pathetic narcissists. There goes the narcissists doing what they do. Look at the narcissists getting Donald Trump to be their president. Look at the narcissists thinking that Charlie Kirk is a hero. What the fuck does hero even mean anymore then? Is that even a fucking term? I just said I was a combat medic. It doesn't mean I was a hero. It means I had the pleasure of serving alongside heroes. And I can tell you, Charlie Kirk ain't no motherfucking hero compared to those people. I watched them bleed. I watched them miss the births of their children so that you could sleep comfortably at night. And you know what they got? Nothing for it. Country doesn't give a damn about them. It won't even give them disability, claiming that they don't even have back pain. You try carrying a 100-pound ruck fucking 6 miles to a training environment and then being on your feet for fucking 15 hours with body armor on every single day of the week, 7 days a week, most of the damn time, missing weekends, missing time with families, high-ass divorce rates, all these things these people have suffered for, and you people put them on the streets. 3 million or something like that. I don't remember the goddamn term, but it's a shitload of goddamn veterans on the street. 22 of them killing themselves a day because they saw the evil that this country was and came back to a country that was unwilling to understand that. Narcissism is all of our plague. It is our black plague. I have it. You have it. She has it. They have it. The children will have it soon if they don't already. It's a disease. It's a disease that we have to fight as a people. We have to put empathy, selflessness, and heroism as true, great qualities that are worth dying for. But instead, we see those as chumps. That is the words of your Grand Commander. He fucking called soldiers who die for their fucking country, who die for their brothers, who burn alive because of IEDs, chumps. That's what your country is. You ask a million things of one group of people. You ask the troops to go fight for you. And when they come back, you treat them like shit. You put them on the street and they kill themselves in vast numbers and none of you care. Because it's not you. It's not your son. It's not your mom. It's not your dad. It's not your daughter. So who gives a damn? And it's disgusting. It is fucking disgusting. And I wish I could say I'm above you, that I'm the main character, and that I'm not a part of this problem. But I'm 110% the problem as well. Just knowing that the disease is there does not cure it. It takes a collective effort of everybody agreeing on one thing, what is good and what is not. And we cannot do that in this nation because we can't even define good and bad without having to look in a mirror and see what the fuck we have become. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. The place in history that we will hold is not going to be kind to us. We will be remembered as cowardly monsters. People who didn't deserve to exist in the first place. And I don't want that for my children. And neither should you. Narcissism. That is what has destroyed your country. That is what destroyed my country. That is what has destroyed the world. Is selfishness, greed, and people who are unwilling to bleed for each other because they feel superior to someone based on simple things that don't matter. Culture, race, and gender. It doesn't matter. This is a country where being disabled is considered weakness. Where being an asshole who pushes neo-Nazi ideology is considered heroism. This country ought to be ashamed of itself. But it can't. Because if there's one thing narcissists can't contemplate, it is shame. The ability to look at your own actions and say, Jesus, tap dancing Christ, I have fucked myself up. I have fucked up the world. And I am to blame, every one of us. We are the problem. And one more point to the incel white boys out there who keep assassinating everybody. You are the tippy top of the spear, the point of it. We are a narcissist plunging ourselves into other people's lives. Whenever you don't get what you want, whenever you treat women bad and they decide not to date you, you massacre people wholesale. And you have no place on this planet. There's a reason women won't mate with you. It is because they don't want more of you to exist. They are denying your very existence, and I agree with them. Keep going, ladies. This country will be remembered as the great narcissist. Remember the great narcissistic plague. Remember the narcissist. Remember the narcissist. Back in 1776, the narcissists began to build their country. By the time they reached 2025, they had become a complete structure of hate, evil, and destruction, and yet we're so filled with Dunning-Kruger effects and bullshit that they've decided that there's just no way that any of this horror is their fault. Stop glorifying World War II. Stop glorifying the bullshit things that we've done in the past to justify the future. This is where we are right now. We are in a place where there is no turning back. Now we just must reap the fruits of our labor. We have destroyed the world. We have destroyed people and cultures and ourselves. And there is no going back. There is no cure. Because the truth is, even though we need heroism, bravery, decency, empathy, sympathy, caring, complex emotions, we are so far gone that it is impossible to expect that to ever happen. The Nazis were evil in 1939. They were evil all the way to 1945 until they were destroyed. Well, guess what? You've been evil till 2025. And you haven't been destroyed yet, so you will continue to be evil as a country. I am ashamed of the country I came home to. I am ashamed of what this country has done to itself and to the world and to women and to children and to the old and to the meek. If Jesus Christ exists, none of us are going to heaven because we've created hell.